When it comes to quitting a bad habit, the cold turkey approach is the most effective one, of course. If it was the end of the story for everyone, there wouldn't be many people getting addicted to a given habit. It takes a lot of will, which some already don't have, since they've been essentially sleepwalking through life. Those whose life is so devoid of substance that they get to their free time, and all they can come up with is empty hedonism. Let's say they finish work and it's the weekend. Proceed to consume junk food, substances, chase STDs, waste time and money on useless/pointless crap. So over time, they become dependent on those things to keep their mind busy. When they're not engaging in wasteful activities, they can become anxious, depressed, bored, confused, or for some that's just when they're going to sleep because they've been scrolling aimlessly a significant portion of the day as per usual. If that's you, it's time to quit. You're too much of a bitch to quit cold turkey, where you've been so deeply conditioned that you don't know how to engage in constructive activities that have substance and real value. Check this out, this part is for you. One strategy to quit a stubborn bad habit is to progressively create distance. It can start really small, like just delaying engaging in the habit by doing something else that is preferably constructive in nature. In the case of a smoker, another idea is to go from king size or 100 milligrams down to regular sized cigarettes. Or go from cigars or pipe down to regular sized cigarettes. The point is you consume less poison each session. For this to work, you have to count about how many you smoke in a day, make that your daily limit, and start lowering the limit over time until zero. Otherwise, some people fall into the trap of smoking less each time but then smoking more often. As a side note, some people are satisfied with reduced harm. So they'll just have one evening in the week during which they can engage in smoking or other wasteful activity. It's the same reasoning as a cheat day when it comes to nutrition. It helps people with cravings by allowing to satisfy them in a controlled manner and being more motivated to honor the engagement on non-cheat days, knowing that there's a day on which it's fine to do it. Instead of a no, it's a yes, but on Sunday instead of today. Later instead of now. Another idea is to create certain rules as to when and where you can engage in the bad habit. For example, not during hours that are meant for business, work, school, or otherwise important activities. Not when socializing. Even change your circle if the people in your current circle try to reel you back in. Had to do that at some point. I would quit drinking and smoking cold turkey just fine, and then when I saw my friends, they wouldn't stop offering alcohol and smokes, opening up the bottle and handing it to me, which at that point feels impolite to decline, saying I'm a weak bitch if I don't drink, and then more people joined in to pressure me. At that age, it was like an open challenge to my manhood, so I would accept the challenge and fucking crush it, of course. I used to drink people under the table. That's a saying, but one time, it actually happened. My friend who was sitting across from me passed out on the spot and slid off his chair onto the floor. I put a blanket over him and he laid there until the next day. Me and my friends were idiots. I was trying to move up in life with school, looking for real jobs, working out, eating healthy, reading intelligent things online. On all those things, they would hate on me and lose respect for me. One day in undergrad, someone said something to me along the lines of, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Of course, I saw that it could be taken as, I don't want to hear what you're saying, I'll say you're stupid and go la 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 la. But at least I always had some sense of self-accountability, so that's not how I heard it. It made me see the obvious that the mentalities in my circle were incongruent with moving out of that trashy neighborhood with gun violence and whatnot, incongruent with higher aspirations in life, incongruent with a healthy lifestyle. So I started just not seeing certain people. Then I realized it was pretty much my entire circle that was into aiming down in life. I quit social media back then because the reason I got on it was to keep in touch with people, and I no longer wanted to do that. The people who matter, you see in real life. Plus, the newsfeed was starting to turn into insanity. That was around when social media went from the new revolutionary thing that took over and made people happy sharing moments of real life activities with their friends and family, and by then it was well on its way to becoming the cesspool that social media now is. It was also around the time that I began taking online privacy and security a bit more seriously. I learned how important it is and how frequent it is for people to get doxxed, even for no reason. Let's be real, doxing is a human rights violation that exposes the person to real harm from individuals and governments. As a side note, I hereby politely ask everyone not to dox me, please and thank you. And by the way, I plan on bringing up the topic of privacy and security again in the future. Okay, this was a big tangent. Back to quitting bad habits. If you create distance between you and the habit incrementally, it becomes trivial to reach either cessation or significantly reduced propensity to engage in the undesirable behavior. Another idea is to just skip it here and there. Let's again use the example of a smoker because I think it's a good, clear one. You feel like smoking, you usually go out and light one up. If you start resisting, let's say 1 out of 3 urges to smoke, where you increasingly delay the first one of the day, you'll get used to going longer without it and the urges will start dropping in frequency. Once you get the ball rolling, it's encouraging and it gets easier to find motivation to quit from there because your efforts are rewarded. Seeing results from your efforts is in itself encouraging, leading to one of 3 paths: increased effort, maintained effort, or complacency. Make the right choice here and you're on a path to success.